This tutorial covers site administration for REEport. Before your REEport site is ready to use, it must be configured by you, the site administrator. If you've not already completed your site setup, when you first enter REEport, you'll be presented with a wizard that walks you through each step of the process. This tutorial will not cover that wizard specifically, since each section covered here is duplicative of what is involved in using the wizard. The setup wizard simply forces you stepwise through the process and remains in effect until it is completed. Okay, so from the REEport home screen, we will click on Site Administration, and it will first take us to the Roles tab. This is currently preset by NIFA, so you're not able to edit any of the settings here. We will look to open that up in the future, and you'll be able to edit these and customize the permissions for each of your roles, but we'll just do a brief overview here. So on the left-hand side, you can see a listing of all the different role names that are available for assignment to your users. And over here are the different permissions of read all, create an update, and delete, and then the box matrix where you can assign the permissions that you want to apply to each role. And then you can independently set different permissions depending on which module you're working with, whether it's project initiation, progress report, or financial report. I'll cover briefly the different permissions. So read all permissions allows the user to view all documents for all projects in PDF format, but they are unable to make any edits to any forms. The create and update permission allows the user to create new documents and make edits to any documents that they have initiated. The delete permission, which applies only to the site administrator, allows that user to delete any forms that are still in draft. And as a rule, a user is only able to view and edit those documents which they have initiated in REEport, with the exception of the project director, who is able to additionally view and edit any document on which they are the named PD, even if they did not initiate the documents. The site administrator is able to view and edit any document. And I will point out here, I'm going to click on this help text, a more detailed explanation of the capabilities and limitations of each of the roles. Okay, so let's move on to the Departments tab. Here you'll see a listing of your institution's departments. You're able to add any department as needed by clicking the blue plus button at the bottom of the list and typing in the department. So we'll go down here to the bottom, and I could click plus, and then you would type in the name of a department. Over here, department code, you can see it says will assign, because these are automatically assigned and tracked by REEport, so you don't need to worry about those. And if you ever decide you want to remove a department, you just click the blue minus button and it will remove it. I'll get rid of that one, and then we'll click next and save and move on to the next page. Okay, this is the Users tab, and this is just a simple listing of all the users for your site. You're not able to do any management or editing from this screen. All user management is done under the Administration tab in Portal, and that's covered under a separate tutorial. And note that this section will eventually be removed from REEport entirely. So we'll move on to the Workflow screen. This section specifically addresses which users are able to submit forms to NIFA. You're able to decide whether you want both the site administrators and project directors to be able to submit to NIFA, or have only the site administrator be able to submit to NIFA. And so this is in a matrix, and you can set that for non-formula projects and formula projects, and you can make it independent for project initiation or progress and final reporting. And I click next, and it just brought me to the setting for progress and final report. Click next, and it'll take us to site profile. Okay, there are 4 subsections under this tab. First is the site administrator profile. Currently, this section is not editable, but we will plan to change that at some point in the future. But this lists all the site administrator contact information. And we'll go on to authorizing signatures. This section should list the person at your institution who is the signatory authority on funds and the person who is the signatory authority for assurance statements. And we'll move on to funding sources. These fields are not editable, and simply show the funding sources available to your institution as set by NIFA. And then finally we'll move on to the message board. You can use the message board to set messages that will automatically appear to your PDs when they access certain modules in REEport. So you can put instructions or guidance or contact information if they have questions while they're using the project initiation section, completing forms there, or alternatively or additionally for the progress report section. And next is the prefix. This is the combination of letters and or numbers that automatically are attached at the beginning of any project number that a user enters for a formula project when completing a project initiation report. And so you control that prefix and set it here. Okay, the Site Administration FAQ. This is a section that's used by NIFA where we can put your site administrator FAQ, so any questions that you might have about using the REEport system, we can answer those questions and have them listed here. Nothing's here just yet, but we plan to use it soon. And then finally is the Launch Wizard tab, which I already discussed in the beginning, which I won't click because it will just launch the wizard, which just simply walks us through each of these sections, which we just did. And that concludes the site administration.